Nearly 3,000 members of the New Jersey National Guard are headed to Iraq. They're currently undergoing an intense training regimen in Fort Bliss, Texas. NJN News' Zachary Fink got a first-hand look, and he joins us now with more on the story. Zach?
Thank you, Ken. We joined a New Jersey delegation that included Governor Corzine and top state leaders. In Texas, we got the chance to see the New Jersey National Guard in action. The training will prepare the troops for their primary mission in Iraq, guarding detainees. They'll be in the Middle East for 10 months. Tonight, we begin a three-part series called Training in Texas, New Jersey Goes to War. The New Jersey delegation included legislators, business leaders, and Governor Corzine. We loaded onto 2 military transport planes and flew to Fort Bliss, Texas. Once on the ground, we bussed through the desert to reach Camp McGregor, where 2,850 members of the New Jersey Guard are being trained. Like the soldiers, we were asked to wear uniforms, although our collared polo shirts don't really compare to the 40 pounds of armor the soldiers will be wearing once they are on the ground in Iraq. Simulated mortar fire is used as background noise during this training exercise. Soldiers are placed in environments which are supposed to mimic the real-life situations they will encounter in Iraq. Get back! Teleport back! Get back! Fort Bliss is located in El Paso. Locals are hired to pretend they are Iraqis, which enables the soldiers to interact with them in a make-believe scenario. In this case, an angry mob storms the checkpoint, and soldiers must rely on their training to avoid bloodshed while at the same time protecting their fellow troops.
What happened just now, we had a crowd come in demanding stuff. Apparently, we have one leader in every group. It's called the Sheik. The Sheik, I don't know if you've seen him, the guy I pulled back, tried to talk to him to control his crowd.
You got to negotiate with him. You got to introduce yourself, be polite, be willing to listen to what his needs are. The 3 most common needs are going to be food, water, and jobs.
The men and women of the New Jersey National Guard are learning to serve as prison guards for Iraqi detainees. They will be replacing a unit from Oklahoma, but most of these citizen soldiers have never had any training as corrections officers.
When people were tossed into Saddam's prisons, they never came out. Now it's like, when they come down to visit their family members, they have proof of life that their family members alive, well, being treated good.
But the United States has had its own difficulties with its treatment of detainees. In 2004, the story of Abu Ghraib came to light, where Iraqi prisoners were abused and mistreated inside Saddam's former prison. Critics at the time accused the U.S. government of inadequately training soldiers for prison duty. Today, that has changed.
Definitely lessons learned from Abu Ghraib. Abu Ghraib is way so far behind us. It's like I don't say we don't talk about it, but we do bring it up because there's lessons. There's things there that went wrong, but those things have been taken care of.
Get down! Get down! Get down! Get down! Get down!
Learning to handle an unruly prisoner is also part of the training regimen. Troops are taught not only how to take down a prisoner, but how to keep him down to avoid injuring himself and others.
Take a free hand and put it in your lower back.
There's a graduated response that these guys will use. This wouldn't be the first response they would jump on. They always use verbal persuasion. There's a multitude of other steps. But if they had to get to this point to where they had to use physical force, very important they're trained properly so they use the minimum amount of force necessary and they don't exceed anything that's going to injure the detainee.
The idea here is to replicate the conditions soldiers will experience on the ground in Iraq. One aspect that is already quite similar is the temperature. Fort Bliss stretches over parts of New Mexico and parts of Texas. We're now on the New Mexican side of the border, about 4 miles in. It's late afternoon and the temperature is about 100 degrees. On a typical summer day in Baghdad, the temperature will soar past 110 degrees. And while that is notably harsher, by being here first, soldiers have a chance to get acclimated.
This is a lot worse in New Jersey as far as the heat, but it's getting us climatized towards our mission that we're going to ahead towards. So it's a good environment, I think.
It's very similar to Baghdad, especially the winter months. The temperature's pretty much the same. The environment, the climate, the humidity is about the same as Baghdad. It's just obviously a little hotter in Baghdad.
Unfortunately for the troops, something that is also commonplace in Baghdad besides the heat is improvised explosive devices, or IEDs. As part of the training, soldiers are packed into this Humvee, which can be rolled over to simulate an attack.
Come out the gunner! Come out the turret!
Common occurrence from March 05 to March 19th of this year, 77% of Army motor vehicle accidents involved a rollover with a casualty. So typically, yes, with a motor vehicle accident, it's common.
The soldiers will undergo 20 days of training before shipping out. Tomorrow night, in part 2 of our series, we'll meet some of the soldiers and families, including fathers and sons, who will be serving together in Iraq.